Hey, Nico here, on the back veranda here. We have a Sansevieria that we usually have inside the house. We've taken it out today because we have some pest issues on this guy. Here we have scale. Now, scale will usually kind of attack the underside, but when it gets to a very bad infestation, you'll see it attacking both surfaces of the leaf, and it can get to a point in time where it is literally, absolutely covering it. So what I plan on doing, because this is not an easy one to just spray or treat, because scale has to be treated with a very specific chemical in terms of sprays in order to kill it. However, what we can do is we can use a diluted solution of rubbing alcohol and rub them off with something like a Q-tip. But in order to find out how bad the infestation is, I'm actually going to have to unpot it so that I can have a look and choose what I do next. Alright, so here, as a sample of when scale can kind of really get out of hand, is some cuttings of the curly leaf version of the orchid cactus. And you can see how badly it is covering the surfaces of these leaves. Now, at this stage, it is getting to the point in time of whether or not one has to decide whether or not it's worth it to treat this, because it's really out of control. And sometimes multiple treatments will still end up giving you a plant that is not in very good shape. So here we have adult scales, these larger tan sections there. But then down below you have a proliferation of all the little nymphs, the babies of the scale, as they start to move out from where the initial infestation was here. To reinfect. So this was treated at a point in time, but we didn't get back to treating it quickly enough. And as you can see, the residual infestation has now re-emerged from ones that we didn't kill off the first time around properly, and where we probably did not have the best of luck in being able to get and treat everything, and now where masses of eggs have essentially hatched, and then the little crawling nymph stages of the scale has now emerged and is going out. So, we will treat this one again and hope and see if we can't really stop these infestations. But when they are stopped properly, and you can see most of the sea surface is completely free, you do have a few odd scale here and there, and then at the base of the plant, you can see a little bit more of the scars of where the treatments had been concentrated. And I can just see, lifting up this leaf on the bottom, we got a bit more there that will need to be treated. So this is a good kind of indication of how often you have to treat these plants. So we'll unpot the plant and get an idea if these scales are actually just on the plant's leaves, or whether they've gone onto the rhizome and or the roots. Now I don't see any issues on the roots. And the rhizome we can uncover here a bit, and I don't see any on the rhizome here. So that's a decent sign. It means we might just only have to deal with it on the actual leaves themselves. But that is still not going to be all that easy. So I'm just going to remove some of these dried bracts around the base just to expose and to see where the infestation kind of ends. So you can just see this one is just starting on this shoot, but on this shoot here, it's quite bad. And if we did nothing, it would spread to all these shoots, and this plant would progressively get worse and worse and worse until this infestation kills them off. So, as I said, I just want to remove those dried leaf bracts just to make sure that I could see around the base of the plant. This one here, this leaf is drying off. Much easier, rather than to worry about treating it, is to just get rid of it altogether. So now I've got 3 leaves remaining on this one. I feel if I take any more off, what will end up happening is that that shoot will essentially be lost. What I could do is actually break off this shoot, either get rid of it or treat it separately, and then just treat these small infections here and have a plant that can recover much quicker. But what I'm hoping to do is just maintain this, because this is actually quite a nice little plant with the 3 shoots. So then with this, dipped in rubbing alcohol, we can just go on the outside and start to rub off all of those scale. Now with an infection like this, it's probably going to take several applications of this to really get rid of the full infestation. So, as you can see, it's created quite a nasty little black tip to the Q-tip. Now I'll just do the next side. So, the rubbing alcohol works by stripping the protective waxy coating that scales produce to protect themselves and stick themselves to the leaf surface. So with this rubbing alcohol, it breaks that waxiness down, and once it's broken down, they can be more easily removed from the leaf surface. You could do it with your hand and just scraping them off, but you might actually cause greater damage to the plant that way. This way, what we can do is remove them, and once they're stuck onto here, the rubbing alcohol will also effectively kill them. So this is a way of removing easily, as well as then making sure that any of the insects that come into contact with the rubbing alcohol will be killed off. Alrighty, I am just about done here now, or at least what I can do for now. I think understanding that this is not going to be a quick thing. This will take several applications, but we'll have to give it a bit of time before doing the next one. And as you can see, actually, the Q-tips get quite dirty in this process. I have removed the majority of the infestation, at least that is what is visible to myself. What you are going to have is those insects that have survived, maybe in the cracks here and so forth, will begin to multiply again. You'll see where the next areas are that you need to treat the plant. In a very bad infestation, it might have been better to have separated this one out altogether, treated these two, and repotted and just let the plant regrow. We will see if we can't save this one in the process and get this to grow quite nicely again. So what I am going to do is repot this. I'm going to put it into an area that is away from most other plants. If it is going to get more insects, I don't want them then transferring to other things. If you have a different way of dealing with scale, why don't you write into the comment section below, let us know what you do, and we will check in on this in another few weeks to see how it's recovered from this treatment.